anything like me believe to err is human, to mess up game meat is a mortal sin, then you have a home here. Welcome to the Go Show, celebrating all things outdoors in this beautiful outdoor playground of a state that we live in. Appreciate you being here, hanging out. And yes, yesterday I was asked by my man Lynn, have you ever screwed up game meat on the grill? Of course, yes. And then I really didn't think too much about it, but there was a more recent example that I gave yesterday. And this is important because I want you to know that I will never come to you as your host. I will never come to you as a friend and just blatantly lie to you, hold something back from you. Here's what happened. So over the weekend, I decided to make carnitas for the whole crew. From intern Beans, her hog hunt, big roast, make some carnitas. Everybody's gonna have a good time. So I was gonna have intern Sarah and her husband over. We gotta find a nickname for him. I'm gonna work on that. Intern Sarah came over, her husband, intern Beans, intern Nuge, me, and I was ready to go. Went out to the freezer and I was thinking, where's all that pig meat? Where'd it go? Lynn, I'm answering a question, actually re-answering a question you asked yesterday. So I went and where'd that go? I went up to intern Beans. I said, hey, is all of your pig meat, is that at your mom's house? Yeah. Like, oh. I have a story to tell you, Dad. Oh. There was a freezer incident. I'm going to get into that story at some other time because it infuriates me, but we didn't have pig meat. So I said, you know what? Here's what I have. I actually have a ram roast from intern Sarah's ram hunt, and I'll just put that in the crock pot. We'll go low and slow. We're going to make that thing happen. So easy breezy. I'll put some taco seasoning there. Everything's going to be fine. Everything will be fine. It wasn't fine. Sabbath ended up eating the roast. It was that bad. It was absolutely terrible. It was awful. I mean, I had a few bites of it, and I was like, "This is just." I screwed up an entire ram roast. So yes, Lynn, I have screwed up several dishes when it comes to game meat. In this case, it was an audible, but I should have just gone to the store and got a pork roast, but I did not. Or I'm pretty sure I have a different pork roast, like a store-bought pork roast in the freezer somewhere, or the other freezer. And I thought, well, yep, that was dumb. But and by the way, the interns would have all believed it. All of them would have. They would seriously. Intern Sarah, intern Beans, intern News would have been like, "Oh yeah, yes, Beans, Beans pig. This is so good. I'm so glad you guys got this." So I could have faked the funk, but I didn't. And so much so. So I come back from I stayed at my girlfriend's last night. I came back this morning, and I was like, something's off. I'm like, there's no dishes in the sink. Dishes in the dishwasher, clean. The heck smells like this? What is this smell? And I was thinking, I'm looking in the trash can's empty, and I'm thinking something's wrong, and I have a super sniffer. It's one of my superpowers. And so much so that I was moving a buddy of mine into a house, and I told him that he had a gas leak because I could smell it. And they all laughed at me, and the gas company came out and they said, you don't have a gas leak. And then they all started making fun of me. And then they said, but your neighbor does. I have a super sniffer. So I'm starting to look around, and I realized that do you know what's funky? And I soaked this thing for 24 hours. Still funky because I screwed up the meat that bad. I screwed up the recipe that bad. The meat actually wasn't that bad. The scent was coming from the crock pot the slow cooker that I had the ram roast in. It's currently, as we speak, soaking again for another 24 hours. So yes, my friend, I have screwed up game meat 9 ways to Sunday. It's a different form of cooking. It's something you have to learn. Like it's very similar to if you learn to cook on traditional grocery products that you find at a grocery store, and then you learn to cook on maybe like from a farmer's market. Those carrots cook different. Everything cooks different if you are cooking at from a farmer's market than you are from stuff at the grocery store. It's just plain. Even if it says organic, and all that. No, it's just different. So yeah. Excited to actually take a couple of cooking classes in the whole fresh farmers market kind of vibe. I found a chef that does that online, and then there's a local place out here in the West Valley that does it. So my beautiful girlfriend and I will be doing that. So yeah. Anyway, so I do screw that stuff up. Let's get to the show about the outdoors. Shall we? Let's start with what should we start with? Let's start with artificial intelligence. Y'all know me. It's been 15 years we've been in radio together. It's been 11 years on this program we've been hanging out. Y'all know me. I am not a fan of artificial intelligence. I'm not a fan of robots. I'm not a fan of, I think everything's going to lead to Skynet. Like there's nothing good that's going to come out of artificial intelligence. Nothing is going to come out of designing of robots. And it all started with the Roomba. We know that. And this whole facial recognition on your phone, them gathering all the information on you and listening to you. And it's just let go of the handles. Fine. It's done. It's on its way. So I'm not a fan until I read this. And then I thought, okay, there could be some artificial intelligence for the greater good. One of the biggest, I would say, thorns in my side when it comes to hunting, especially here in Arizona, I don't know very much how it is in other states, but I'm sure it's almost identical, is that when the hunting regulations come out, they are the most legalese, nonsensical, can't find anything. And I know my peeps at Game and Fish are gonna come with me on this because they know it. It's government. It's if you have a sport like we have, which is the outdoors and hunting and fishing, and then you rely on the government to tell you how you can do it, you can expect a several hundred-page book that's going to make zero sense to you. I actually have done several searches on Google, DuckDuckGo, whatever you use. I do not use Bing. If you use Bing, we need to have a talk. And I said, like, what is opening light for dove season, whatever it is. I just had a question. What is the minimum caliber? Actually, one of the most recent things I had, what is the minimum draw resistance? So in poundage. So is it 40 pounds? Is it 50 pounds for hunting big game in Arizona? Every result just sent me right to the regulations, and the regs. I still couldn't find it to this day. So thank the good Lord. There is a new AI program. Here's the title. Hunting regs are too complicated. This new hunting AI is trying to fix that. And if artificial intelligence, and if you use ChatGPT or anything like that, if you use that so far, or Genesis or all the stuff from Google, Gemini, whatever they call it, you know that if it's trying to at this point, that's how complicated it is. That's really how complicated it is. You can literally tell ChatGPT to write you anything and it will be written quickly. Figure out the hunting regs of any state. It's like, yeah, it's trying to fix it. It's working on it. But this is amazing. And I hope states adopt this. This is a program called Scout. And I think Scout is a private company, a software, somebody come up. Every game and fish department in the nation adopted by it. I don't care how much you have to spend. You will have happier customers, which is us. You will have happier, more sane partners in the North American model of wildlife conservation, which is us. You will have happier funders of conservation, which is us. If we could simply go into the Scout program and say, what is the minimum caliber I can use in the state of Arizona for big game hunting? And it tells me. It doesn't push me to two different reg books and what the minimums, and I have to find what the minimums are. Can you see how good this is? Because if I don't know, I'm just going to say, I thought you could hunt 223 for elk in Arizona. I thought you could. I figured you could. No, because it says in the Game Warden Summary, no, the unit manager, tells me no right here. Page 197, paragraph B, subsection A, it says that the minimum is, okay, dude, thanks. I'm sorry I didn't read the entire book before I ran out, and I was more worried about my camp meals and having a good time and enjoying myself and supporting the North American model to read page 1, whatever, paragraph 2, subsection B. Lynn says the regulations are meant to confuse us. I don't deny that one little bit. Problem is, when it comes to hunting regs, I don't think so, because we are essentially their partners in conservation. And I don't know if that's meant to confuse, because if there is no confusion, if everything is plain today, we know the dates, we know the units, we know the unit boundaries, we know the minimum anything, which is draw weight for a bow, we know the minimum caliber for a firearm, we know what we can and cannot do very easily. That makes conservation easier for your Arizona Game and Fish Department. And again, it's government. I don't whatever. I mean, they're probably going. They probably meant to make them confusing. We're a government. We're here to confuse. Then Ronald Reagan said that the 9 most feared words in the English languages were with the government. We're here to help. Yeah. So I don't deny that, but it would make sense to have a program like this directly attached to the Arizona Game and Fish Department's website, directly attached to an app. Whatever state you're in, boom, I got the regs right here. What can I do? Can I do this? Can I not do that? What's the minimum? What's the maximum? Want to know them all. Easy breezy. Because think about it. That's all we get busted for. If anyone gets busted in the field for doing anything, maybe they have a bag limit. Maybe they've gone over their bag limit. Maybe they have fish they caught that aren't the 13-inch minimum. How do I know it's 13-inch minimum? Well, I can ask this program, and it's going to tell me. And the bass needs to be 13 inches to take, or 8 inches, 10 inches, whatever it is, in whatever state you're in. I right now in this state right now in Arizona, as much as I fished, I can't tell you what the minimum is. I'm a catch and release guy, but still, if I wanted to take him, like do other people know that striped bass are just go 24/7, 365, as many as you want to take? No, maybe not. Maybe people don't know that, but that hinders conservation. Because if I think like, oh, I probably can't pull out more than like 7 to 10 of these things, but I'm on fire right now and I could stay here all night and have a 100-fish stringer and feed my whole neighborhood. You're hurting conservation, because the Game and Fish Department wants you to get those things out of there. So, but if I looked into the fishing regulations, how the hell am I going to find that? I wouldn't know how to find that. And immediately, especially if you go on the website, it's like, the cure for insomnia. And so, as much as I have bagged on artificial intelligence, completely bagged on AI, there are good things that come along with that. And I, just like I bagged on social media for so many years before I jumped on board. And it was my neighbor that got me into it too, by the way. He just said, you got to get a Facebook page because we're playing this Mafia Wars game. And I'm like, all right, I'll play it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, so Matthew tells me he has the PDF on his phone. You have the PDF of the hunting regs. Is there a way for you to search into that PDF by keyword? But even that's a pain in the tuchus. How was that easy? Now I ask you, if you got the PDF on your phone, how many times have you used it, and how easy was it to find things? To me, it isn't. I get the reg books. I have a stack of reg books. I used to have a giant stack of reg books, and I never looked through any of those things because I did 2, 3, 4 pages, and I'm like, yeah, forget this noise. I don't know. And one of them, I remember one time I went on because I didn't know when the second season started for dove season, and I didn't want to go through the regs. I could not find anything on an internet search that didn't push me right to the regs, and I kept looking and looking and looking. I'm like, damn it, just give me dates. That should be easy. Day 1. You know, here's actually what shooting light is. Yes, now I can know that. Here's what shooting light is. Is it 30 minutes before? Yeah. Yeah, you can't search on your phone. So Matthew just kind of scroll. And I'm like, no. So we have this program called Scout. I don't care what it costs. I hope Game and Fish adopts it. It's just part of their system. But I'm telling you, if I have it, if I've got to pay for an app, done. Take my money, because I will have. It's kind of a not really a parlor trick. Yeah, not really a parlor trick, but it's interesting because I'm making fun of my kids, because my kids always ask me. My girlfriend asks me. My sister will ask me. Whatever it is. Hey, I wonder if this person is still alive or something. This actor or something like that, and they just kind of like, oh my gosh! I grab my phone, hit the button. Is so and so still alive? No, they died 2 years ago. Hey, Dad, how can I do this? Hit my phone. Hey, how do you do this? There's all your instructions right there. We have everything at the palm of our hands, in the palm of our hands, at our fingertips. Why can't we just have that in an app? What's legitimate? What's shooting light for this season, for this species in this unit? Tell me what shooting light is. That's all I want to know. I don't want to have to go thumbing through things. And Matthew's even said he's got the regs on his phone. AI can handle this. AI can handle it. Amen, Matthew. Amen. And I think we'd all go in if everybody said, "Look, we're going to raise the excise tax for hunting and fishing equipment from 11 to 11.5%, just so this Scout program, which costs $1 trillion, because the guy's a genius, or the human is a genius." I apologize. Don't want to get into trouble from my female friends there. We'll all be in 100%. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I literally just do not care how much this costs Game and Fish Department, how much this will cost me to be on my phone. If I can just ask this AI program what this reg is, I'm in. I think I'm speaking for the vast majority. Matthew's in too. And this guy has the regs on his phone in a PDF, for the love of grief. That'd make my eyes go cross just launching the thing, going, "Oh, I'm gonna have to read this." But so I'm telling you, like social media, when I came around and said, "Oh, there's some serious benefits to social media." Okay, I'm going to come around to it. This AI thing, I might come around. And then when the entire AI universe realizes that I've come around to it, maybe my death will be quick when they take over. There you go. Oh my goodness sakes. Did it really? A few times the Game of Fish. Okay, so Matthew, I want to ask you this, if we could, because I remember my good friend Tim. My good friend Tim teaches the concealed carry at Scottsdale Gun Club, and he said, you all are here because you want to learn. You all are here because you want to be a more knowledgeable, responsible firearm carrier in a state where you don't need to be here. He said, what that is jury insurance. He said, if you get before a jury, God forbid you have to go before a jury. And he said, if as your attorney, I would never get you to a trial, because then your fate is in the hands of 12 people that weren't intelligent enough to get out of jury duty. He said, but you will be able to tell a judge, I'm in a state where I don't need a concealed carry license, but I went to the class because I want to be educated. I was acting in that moment per my training, or at least teaching, or as I understood the law to be in that class. That's jury insurance versus someone else who went, I don't care, I thought I could shoot somebody. Now, so that is so that's jury insurance. So Matthew, my question there is, you said that the hunting regs on your phone saved your butt a few times to Game and Fish. Was that because, here's a guy who actually has the regs on his phone? Or was it that you actually scrolled through the PDF and found what you were looking for? Because if that is the case, I'm going to call you Rain Man from here on out, because there's absolutely no way I can find anything I'm looking for in those regs. No, it's a PDF on my phone. Holy cow. Woo. What's up, Grizz? I'm telling you, what a challenge that is. And again, it's government. So anytime you allow government to regulate anything in your life, it's going to be complicated, and you're not really going to be in control of it. Can we just say that? Yeah. So let's see. You scrolled through while he was writing you a ticket. You tell me you're an attorney. That is fantastic. That's a good move. Like, okay, write me a ticket, dude. Hold on. I'm going to make sure that no, you're wrong. Because, okay, so we can put it this even takes it even further. The Scout program is needed. This AI program, Scout, is needed to actually help us understand regs. If that's the case, that means that your game warden or your unit manager had no idea what the law was. Oh, not an attorney, just a redneck trying to get by. Amen, brother. You are at home here. You are with family here. I tell you that much. Holy cow! Thank y'all so much for being here. This is just the joy of my world is to get to talk to you guys each and every day at 11 o'clock. So intern Beans was going on trip, and intern Beans was getting her stuff together here at the house, and she was going through her stuff in her little toiletry bag, and she had some meds, and she took out the little thing, opened the box, and she pulls out the little supplement, and I say supplement, I mean the directions or the warnings or whatever out of the little box, and she unfolds it, and she unfolds it again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and she said, "Dad, this," and let me show you. I had it. I saved it. This is front and back, guys. Look at this. This isn't a fishing trick where you hold it up close. Look, it's behind me. Look at this. Look at this. I could make it a hat. Fantastic. So this thing was for one medication. She said, Dad, you would think that this big warning or whatever is because it's in multiple languages. Nope. One language. Y'all, that's where we're at. So when I see things like that, I think, thank the good Lord that I taught my kids getting outdoors is a big deal. That's why intern Beans chose Northern Arizona University. She'd be up in nature. And that's why she chose her chosen career field is to be in marine conservation in biology. Yeah, she's that kid, by the way. She's the kid the kid. I want to be a marine biologist. I want to work with dolphins. That actually saw it all the way through. So she's going into it. But I know that her chosen college and her chosen university, and her chosen career field is going to keep her healthier than anything that you have to do this. The sun doesn't come with this. You see what I'm saying? The sun doesn't come with all this noise. Fresh air doesn't come with all this noise. You don't need it. Vitamin D doesn't have warning labels. You don't have warning labels on natural vitamin D. Bunch of noise. So I think that for a lot of reasons, I mean, for a lot of reasons, there are a lot of examples. That's better said. There are so many examples that I have personally. I'm sure that y'all have personally as well, but I'll just go historically. We just went through one of the biggest. Okay, I'm not going to get political. I promise I won't get political on the show unless we're dealing with legislation that deals with the outdoors. So until then, or until that happens, I'm going to wait a second. Something is catching my eye here. Squirrel. Oh, here we go. Structure on a road. Then it was the measurement on my Google Earth app that showed him how far we were. He was pretty much saying that I had to be 550 yards away when I knew it was only 450 yards away. Boom. Nicely done. Wow. Okay. And that's a big thing. And some people just say quarter mile. Is that at 450 yards? Is that a quarter mile? Huh? Can I practice what I preach live on air? Watch this. How many yards is a quarter mile? 440 yards. Boom. Look at that, guys. Look at us. Dude, we're crushing life right here. I love it. Absolutely working together as a team. Okay. Anyway, not going back is it doesn't matter. I think 440. If you're 10 yards off, you're okay. I think if you're at 435, I think they're going to be, I think you're going to win that in a court of law because you don't have a quarter yard tape measure out there. Anyway, I told you I'm not going to get political on the show, and I'm not. But we just went through a giant debacle known as COVID. Here's something that I preached in COVID that I wanted the whole world to know, wanted the masses to know, because this is important. Remember the very nonsensical, very crazy bazillions of dollars that I'm not going to say wasted, that we used and invested into overflow sections of hospitals. Like they were outside. That was the news jumped all over that. There's a document that you can see from the CDC that shows you exactly how many beds were used to the multi-millions of dollars that were thrown into them. I would say, if I was hospitalized for COVID, I'm going to be out there. Put me out there. Put me outside. And the reason why I say that is history. During the Spanish flu, which was hands down many times worse than COVID, it was the worst pandemic that we have seen ever in the history of ever. It was crazy. We had true overflow of hospitals where the patients that were outside in the overflow they were healed quicker, and their rate of healing was wildly higher than those that were actually in the hospital. That's fact. That is absolute fact. And that has everything to do with the healing properties of being outside. I firmly believe that we are hooked on so many medications, so many just these drugs that have, I don't even have it anymore because I threw the thing, that had all of these like these giant warnings on them. And their commercials have to have the cause of death. You're going to die. You're going to die. At the end of the commercial, or the scroll of like tiny text, say, "Well, we told them they were going to die. Well, we told them the chemicals in there are going to hurt them." Instead of getting outside, and I'm talking like, look, if you can't get outside, just I don't know, going for a walk on lunch. Maybe it's going out to your patio for 15 minutes a day. I'm telling you, your entire physiology will change. I'm not saying you're going to cure anything. I'm just saying your body will be healthier if you spend time outside. The healing power of the outdoors is undisputed, it's unmistakable, and it is real. And it's wonderful. I mean, look at me. I'm a portrait of health. No, I don't spend enough time outside. I would do a lot of work inside, but I need to spend more time outside. And I'm in a state where it's 197 degrees outside. Something a little limiting. It's a little bit limiting. I was just talking, we're trying to train for Havasupai, and I was talking to my girlfriend this morning, and she was like, "No, we got to go up north." I'm like, "Why? We can go out at 4 a.m. No big deal. 5 a.m. She's like, "Would still die." I'm like, "Yeah, that's a good point. It's still 90 degrees. I don't want to do it. Let's get up north and train." Mm-hmm. This is, and exactly, there's a lot of money that was wasted that would have just been celebrated in the outdoors. But we are dealing with today's younger generation, and again, we're trying to win hearts and minds. That's our job, win hearts and minds. So we're starting to call getting out into the forest and taking a hike. I'm not kidding, y'all. This is what it's called. You can look it up. I'm not playing. It's called forest bathing. That's akin to mushroom hunting. You're not hunting. Yeah, mushroom hunting and forest bathing are the same. You're walking around in the forest for the love of grief. And it is healing. The anxiety reduction in people in Manhattan. This is where one of the studies was done. In Manhattan, they took them to Central Park once a day, 15 minutes a day. The other people just went about their day and went and stood in deli lines, and they yelled, "Hey, tune on for Kasha." Terrible, terrible place to live. But the people that were in the park, 15 minutes a day. That's it. I mean, now you probably get mugged in the park in 15 minutes, but at that time, 15 minutes a day and 50% reduction in anxiety. 50. And that's by being in Central Park, for the love of grief. I don't think that's super relaxing as being up in like Flagstaff. Yeah. Yeah. Wait, oh, that's right, Eddie. Excuse me, y'all. I understand. Program about the outdoors and all of that. And by the way, nature heals better than prescriptions. We'll be outside all day tomorrow and Thursday preparing to blow stuff up. My man, where are you going to be? Holy cow. I forgot. Eddie has my dream job and many of our dream jobs. But we didn't know it was a job. When we were kids, we were asked, "What do you want to be?" "I want to be an astronaut." Well, as kids, "What do you want to be?" "I want to be a fireman." We didn't know that pyrotechnic badass was a job description. Eddie gets to blow stuff up. Let's go. Oh my man. Okay, cool. Appreciate you sending me the email on that, dude. Yeah, yeah. He sets up big fireworks shows. Yeah. Grizz says he 100% agree. Spent almost 2.5 years laid up from a motorcycle accident. Once he started getting outside, started to feel a lot better. That's right, my man. Except for today when it's debilitating. It's so bad. It's so hot out there. I went to this weekend or a weekend before last. I went to the grocery store and I was walking in because I usually just park far away because I just, I like to get the steps in or whatever. And I walk in, I felt the back of my legs burning. I'm like, any exposed skin I have right now is frying because my pasty butt is going to burn quickly. But holy mackerel. Whew, today's a rough one, man, I tell you. And Eddie, my man, I know I'm not telling you anything. We care about you. So just hydrate like crazy, buddy. I know you're going to be outside setting up for the fireworks displays. And let me tell you, man, let's go. But hey, but being outside, my buddy Rob takes it one step further. He does the whole barefoot to the ground, to the grass kind of thing, that recharge from the earth. And I got to tell you, it sounds so hippy dippy to me, but I'm all about, I believe it works. I just do. Nature's got your back. Nature really, really does. And changing a few things in dietary habits, like switching to game meat, it's going to make a difference. I think by the grace of those moves and God go I. Oh, quick thing before we wrap up. I know we're out of time. Here's the deal. This is a crazy thing I learned from Rob yesterday. That if a doctor told 7 people, this is a crazy study. If a doctor told 7 people that if they don't change their daily habits, they will die, one of them will make the change. Only 1 in 7. We are not those ones that you guys, we are that 1 in 7. We just need to make it to 2 and 7. Let's get to 3 and 7. And we're going to be a whole lot better in telling those pharmaceutical companies to kick rocks. How about that? Everybody with me on that? Let's do it. Hey, let's do this tomorrow again at 11 o'clock. We had a lot of fun yesterday with Q&A, and I'm sorry I didn't get to your comment at the end. I think it was Lynette or Grizz, one of the 3, that said, why don't you ask us some questions? So I might do that as well at the next Q&A. The next Q, that's you, buddy. So the next Q&A Monday is going to be the first Monday of every month. So maybe next time I'm just asking y'all a bunch of questions. How about that? All right, let's have some fun. All right, guys, we'll do it again tomorrow at 11 right here on the Go Show, celebrating all things outdoors in this beautiful outdoor playground of the state, nation, and world that we live in. Have a great afternoon, everybody.